All right, hey, what's up guys? It's Roy here, and with today's video, I want to show off a little bit of the brand new public beta that was released for Android 12 on my Google Pixel 4 here. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So as far as the public beta for Android 12 goes on the Google Pixel devices, it was released today after the Google event launched or started. I'm not really sure exactly when, because originally I did try to opt into it and it wouldn't let me, and then about an hour ago it let me. So if you are having issues with that, definitely comment down below and let me know, because like I said, I did have issues at first, but then eventually it let me do that. One thing to point out is you do need to re-enroll or at least opt back in for the public beta for Android 12. So like, for example, I did the beta for Android 11 and it made me re-enroll, and it does say you need to. So not a big deal, but just something to point out. So first thing that you notice, guys, right off the bat is the different look on the AlwaysOn display here. So as far as the AlwaysOn display goes, you do have a completely different look here. So you got a much bigger clock here. You do have the date and weather there, and then you do have your battery percentage there at the bottom. And then when I do tap it to unlock, you can see that this gets much bolder, and the same thing with everything else here. Now, obviously the battery percentage goes away because now you have that up here. But whenever I do unlock it, then everything looks pretty much the same. So I thought that the app icons would get a little bit different because I think I saw that on YouTube somewhere. But I think with the public beta, that's not going to happen yet. I think that's only on the developer one. But as you can see here, everything looks pretty much the same. Now it does change when you start to swipe down for that notification shade. So when you do swipe down for the notification shade, you do notice instantly you have a completely different look when it comes to your little quick panel up here at the top. So for example, you know, these are just way different looking. They're not circular anymore. And then when you scroll down or, you know, pull it down even further, you can see that the bright level thing is way different, a lot chunkier, and everything just looks different. And then if you scroll over, you can just see that there. If I edit, you can see that you do get a lot of other ones here, but they all are that boxier, more rounded shape. So not a big deal. I think it looks kind of cool there. And then another thing to point out is when you do swipe down that notification shade, the whole entire screen turns black. So that way everything is on here. So if I had a bunch of notifications, the whole entire screen would be covered. So I wouldn't have to pull down, but the only way to pull down here is obviously then to get to the settings and the edit option here. But like I said, you can see there that you can kind of move that up and down and be able to have just a lot easier access with that. Another big change here is when you do change the volume of your device. So if I turn it on or up, or volume up or down, you can see the widget here on the side is way different now. So it's a lot bolder, a lot easier to control your volume right there. When you do push that to do vibrate, silent, or ring, you see there it looks way different once again. So total different look there. And then the same with your caption as well. Another thing is, or one thing that doesn't change, is whenever you do hold the power button, you still have this look here. From my understanding on the public beta, or excuse me, the developer one, that completely changes, but we'll see with public beta if that does. Another thing to show y'all that looks different is whenever you do try to unlock the device, but you're not able to use your face, as you can see here, these look way different now. So they're very circular. They're not just the number anymore. So I'm just gonna log in there, and there you go. So you do have that completely different look there. Another big thing that's different is in settings. As you can see here, the settings menu is completely different now. So you have a much thicker forehead up here at the top. So it's not like Samsung where it's all the way down. You do have just this little portion here, but it's supposed to be easier for one-handed operations and whatnot with the device. But as you can see here, you do have just much bolder fonts, bigger logos here on the sides. So it does look completely different. So for example, like if I go to battery here, you can see this looks completely different here as far as that goes. You can do the battery usage. So everything looks just a little bit different. Display, you have just, you know, everything's just different. You know, you have just a little bit thicker forehead up here up top. Now, one thing, obviously with it being public beta, I think there's a little bit of a glitch here. is whenever I do open things, so let me go ahead and do this real quick. Let's see if the camera will pick it up. I don't know if you can notice that right there, but let's see if I can do that again. See how it looks very static when I do that? And I've noticed that happening quite a bit. So on everything that I open, it just gives me that little static looking thing there. Not very clean looking, but once again, I do understand it's a beta Android 12, so obviously kinks and things are gonna get worked out, but that's just something to point out. Looks like I did go to a notification from Mercari, so let me go and swipe down. And as you can see there, that is basically what it looks like. So like I said, it's got this whole thing. So just for fun, I'm gonna open up Spotify as well, which looks like, what am I playing today? I'll get my kid to sleep there, ambient sounds. But now if I scroll down, well, I guess I should probably, let me see if I can play something and pause it, and then, there we go. So now you can see here, now that I have that whole thing open, as you can see, whenever I do swipe it down really slow, you can see that the home screen just completely goes away and this takes over. And you can see everything is just much more rounded, you know. So once again, kind of mimicking One UI, but it just looks a little bit cleaner in my opinion than One UI. But then, like I said, there you got your just a much bigger notification there as far as that goes, and then I can close that where it's just a little bit slimmer here, and then of course I can just swipe that away, and there we go. As far as the widgets go, the widgets do look a little bit different as far as like being able to find them here. So as you can see, the layout just looks a lot different. So if I scroll here, then you can see that everything just looks a little bit different. So you just have all the apps laid out right here as far as everything goes. Got much bigger icons here. So whenever you're scrolling, you can kind of see that there. And then when you do want to see what it looks like, you can just kind of push that, and then that's going to show you the different widgets that you can use. So like ESPN, it's going to show me the widget there. Let's see, Google. So Google, you got your at a glance search and the sound search there. So it just looks a little bit cleaner. And as you can notice, as I'm scrolling through, that search bar stays there, but the widget kind of list here is still moving underneath it. So a little bit different look there. As far as the Play Store, everything is a little bit different looking, as you can see here, just a little bit thicker. Everything's just bigger, as you can tell. So a little bit more rounded corners here as far as everything goes, rounded corners here. So definitely just looks different. The camera, nothing looks different. Everything looks exactly the same. So if you went into settings here, you don't get the bigger looking settings like you do with the public beta. Another thing that I have noticed is a little bit different with animations is whenever I do just kind of like go too far, you can see that little bounce there, and that's kind of up and down. So both ends, as you can see here, just a little bit different look there. So another thing that's different is if you hold the screen and go to styles and wallpapers here, you do see that this menu is a little bit different looking. So you got the wallpaper up here, you got the picture of their screen, and then you can kind of see the lock screen and the home screen. But as you can see here, this looks a tad bit different now. So as you can see, everything's a little more rounded, a lot bigger once again. But like I said, and then once you can see that little animation there, that little pop there. So definitely looks a little different. You can click style and you can see that there. And then if I do the grid, I can change the grid up a little bit, do 2x2, 3x3, 4x5, or default, which I prefer default. But once again, you do see that static that I'm talking about. See right there? I don't think that's deliberate. I don't think so. I mean, I just imagine they would want it to look a little bit cleaner, but it is doing that there. So if I open up YouTube, YouTube actually is a little bit different now. So as you can see here, you have the rounded look here. And then if I scroll, the thumbnails look a little bit larger. There is a little bit of some separation between them, a little bit more. So the thumbnails, like I said, do look a little bit bigger. But yeah, and then if I go into the settings there, settings look the same, but definitely the look up here definitely looks different on YouTube. If I go to the weather app here, the weather looks exactly the same, so nothing different with the weather. So as far as playing around, guys, there is basically the basics of what Android 12 public beta is going to give you. So for the time being, it's not a huge difference. I mean, obviously there's significant appearance differences on certain things, but the overall overhaul, like maybe some of the developer previews give you, you're not getting that with public beta yet. But as they release and as more updates come through, I will do more videos. I would love to do more of an in-depth overall video once it comes through with a little more professional looking footage with some B-roll and stuff like that. But I just wanted to anxiously run to my camera and do this real quick for y'all. So there you have it, guys. There is Android 12 public beta and some of the basic things that I noticed initially. If I missed something, let me know down in the comments if you noticed something that I didn't point out, because like I said, as I've been playing with it, I haven't really noticed a lot of other things. Yeah, so hit that like button if you liked the video. If you loved it, please subscribe and ring that notification bell for up-to-date content. So be safe out there, God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.